So I'm going to talk about this weight stupidity that's going on in boxing. So Keyshawn Davis yesterday fails to make the weight for the fight that's scheduled for today. And it's a shame because I don't have ESPN2, but I was thinking of adding it in order to watch this fight. Now that Keyshawn is out, I'm not sure that I'm still going to add it. So he's jeopardized the card in that way. Glad to hear that Edwin De Los Santos is getting at least a part of his purse. I think he was supposed to originally get $700,000. They're paying him $500,000, and no problem with his decision not to go through with the fight. But as part of the negotiation, after Keyshawn failed to make the weight, they said that if he agreed to a 10-pound rehydration clause, in other words, he couldn't come in weighing more than 150 when he walked into the ring, that De Los Santos would have taken the fight. So Keyshawn says no, and De Los Santos says, okay, in that case, I'm out. I'm taking the money and I'm leaving. But that tells you that Keyshawn, even though he was supposed to be fighting as a lightweight at 135-pound limit, he's typically entering all his fights over 150 pounds, which means he's fighting as a junior middleweight at least. So he's not a lightweight then. And the weigh-in, the official weigh-in has got to take place closer to the fight. This is ridiculous. And this is why we have all this craziness going on. When Leonard fought Duran, the weigh-in was the morning of the fight. Okay, so that limited the, shenanigans and all the weight bullies that have cropped up since then, now that they do the weigh-in so far before the fight. When Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney, it was supposed to be at 140 pounds. Both fighters entered the ring that night over 160 pounds. So why not just make the limit 165 or 168? If you guys are fighting, basically you're fighting in super middleweights, and then you won't have to go through all the weight stupidity of trying to cut weight, put it back on, whatever. Both of you are entering at once in the 160s, 165, so just make that the limit. It's stupid. So a while back, Keyshawn tests positive for marijuana, a banned substance in boxing, and gets suspended. Now he loses his world championship on the scale, which is just, pitiful and disgraceful. And just 2 weeks ago, he's interviewed and said, oh yeah, I can still make 135. I'm planning to move up to 140, but I can still make 135, so I can take the Tank fight, the Abdullah Mason fight, whatever. At a certain point in the training, he knew he was not going to make the weight limit. At that point, the right thing to do is to notify the De Los Santos camp, so you renegotiate the weight clause right there in advance. So it wouldn't have been a title fight. But so what? We as fans could care less about that. We wanted to see that fight. So it's crazy. Yeah, so the weigh-in should take place a lot closer to the fight. When the guy and the fighters arrive at the stadium that night, that's when the weigh-in should take place. So something like 2 to 4 hours before fight night. And then we could eliminate, all this nonsense. And now that he's lost his title in the ring, the whatever alphabet soup organization he's fighting for is just going to award the title to another fighter instead of having the number 1 and number 2 contender fight it out. They're just going to award the title and give it to somebody else, which is also stupid. This whole idea of interim champions is just outrageous, and it's dumb as hell. And boxing fans have got to be more discriminating, more demanding, more sophisticated, and not just accept any bullcrap that these promoters and organizations, try to offer us. So